Okay, so I completed the first road trip with the PPE pan and the upgraded torque converter. Now, I'm getting back to where I started, and coolant temp 206, trans temp 168, oil temp 210. Now, when I started the trip, it was a lot more sunnier out, it was 10 degrees hotter out, and I was sitting at about 180. And that's obviously with the sun beating down on the front end of the truck. I'll try it a few more times and kind of see where it gets to. You know, this is the first, I mean, this I'm completing 200 miles on this. Now, a couple of people sent me pictures of their trucks right now driving as well. Another guy was getting 190 at 70, and he was getting 192 to 195 at 80. If that shows you how big of a difference it is right now, my truck versus theirs. Now, the thing is, yes, there's the PPE pan, which holds 2 more quarts, which does help the transmission run a little bit colder. On top of that, we are running the lower stall torque converter, which will generate less heat as well, and help the transmission run cooler as well. On my truck now, I will say that there is no reason to ever run a thermostatic bypass or a thermal bypass for the transmission, because the trans temps are staying around that 170 to 180 mark. The only thing that I'm going to do next, which I think will help a little bit, is RevMax. You buy the thermostatic bypass from RevMax, but instead of putting the plate in that does the bypass, you just do the brass plug, which will still allow the transmission to heat up fast in the winter and when you first start it, but it's supposed to run a little bit colder with that brass plug in there. The goal is, when it's nice and hot out and it's 80 degrees and I'm doing 80 miles an hour down the freeway, if I could sit around 170. 170 is by far one of the best temperatures that a transmission can sit at. You start getting up to 200 plus and you're destroying your transmission fluid. There's transmission charts that show you degradation of the transmission fluid and how fast it does it at certain temperatures. So highly recommend checking that out or getting a hold of me and I will send you that chart. I will try tonight or the next couple days to list the torque converter modification on the website for those of you who are interested in it. The torque converter is running about 300 less RPM stall, which means it's going to tow better, it's going to drive in town better, it's going to generate less heat, and on top of that, you have more available torque at a lower RPM. And, you know, my competitors have already commented and being like, oh, that's bullshit. Banks did an article on specifically lowering the stall converter RPM. Go ahead and look it up. It goes into significantly more depth than what I just did related to the torque converter. So highly recommend looking it up. Highly recommend doing it, especially if you have larger wheels, lift, Jeeps, off-roading, things like that. You do a lot of towing, definitely a must. One of the big things that I noticed right away is it was a little bit torquier down low. And the other thing that I noticed was that it was significantly easier to climb hills while maintaining a gear than it was before. So if you're interested in having this done, reach out to me. If you're local and interested in having this done, definitely reach out to me because we can do it right at my shop. So that's the update on the torque converter. Super excited to have it in my personal truck finally. Mine's getting shipped out tomorrow to get gone through and get the same exact modification happen to it. So I will have one ready to go. The goal is to find a second one and have 2 on the shelf ready to go. Like I said, reach out to me if you're looking to have it done. Definitely a must.